Good morning, everyone. Before our moot court begins, I would like to briefly introduce the background of this case. So on 14 December 2012, a mass shooting took place at Sandy Hook Elementary School in the United States, and 20 children and 6 educators lost their lives. So after the tragedy, American media personally, Alex Jones repeatedly made false claims about the shooting, and he questioned whether the shooting was real and claimed that some of the victims' families were actors. So this case raises important questions about freedom of speech, media responsibility, and the protection of reputation. So now let us begin our moot court.
The Sandy Hook shooting may be staged. Some of families may be Chris actors. How can he say that? We lost our family members. This really happened. These false statements are hurting our family and damage our reputation. We want to take legal action.
I understand. I will review the statement and the evidence.
The families are taking legal action against you. We need to prepare a defense.
I did not intend to hurt anyone. I was only inspired by review.
Then we will express our position towards the court.
Good morning. The court is now in session. Please be seated. Today, the court will hear the case of Sandy Hook families with Alex Jones. This case originated in the United States. For the purpose of this mock count, we will examine the legal issues by applying the relevant Malaysian media laws. The main issue before this court is whether the statements made by Alex Jones can be considered defamation under Malaysian law. The court will also consider freedom of speech and the responsibility of media professionals. We will first hear from the plaintiff. Please present your case.
Thank you, Your Honor. I represent the families of the victims of the Sandy Hook school shooting. On 14 December 2012, 20 children and 6 educators lost their lives in the Sandy Hook school shooting. It was a terrible tragedy for the victims, their families, and the whole community. After the shooting, the families were already suffering from the loss of their loved ones. However, Mr. Alex Jones repeatedly claimed that the shooting was fake. He also described the victim's family as crisis actors. These statements were shared through media platforms and reached a large audience. Some people believe these claims and start to question whether the shooting was real. Because of these statements, the families face online harassment, threats, and public acts. Some people asked the parents of lying about the deaths of their own children. This statement damaged our reputation and caused more pain to families who were already suffering. We believe that Mr. Jones should be responsible for the harm caused by his words.
Your Honor, I would like to ask the plaintiff several questions.
You may proceed.
Mr. Jones makes these statements only once.
No, he repeated similar claims many times through his media program and online platforms.
Were these statements communicated to members of the public?
Yes, his program had a large audience, and the statements were also shared online.
Did these statements affect how some members of the public viewed the families?
Yes, some people believe that we are lying. We received hateful message and treat because of these claims.
Your Honor, the issue before this count is whether the defendant's statements amount the defamation when Malaysian law is applied to this case. And under Malaysia defamation law, a statement may be defamatory when it harms the reputation of another person, refers to that person, and is communicated to other people. In this case, all 3 points are present. First, the statements could damage the reputation of victims' families. Second, the statements clearly referred to the Sandy Hook families. Third, we were published to a large audience. Mr. Jones did not simply ask questions. He repeatedly presented several claims to his audience. These claims were false and caused real harm. Therefore, we submit that the defendant should be held responsible under the principles of the Defamation Act 1957.
Your Honor, I understand that my systems cause anger and pain. However, I didn't intend to harm the families. At that time, I was receiving information from different sources. I believe that I had the right to discuss questions and express my personal review on my program. I did not personally tell anyone to threaten or harass the families. I cannot control every action taken by members of my audience. Later, I accepted that the Sandy Hook shooting was real. I also publicly apologized for the systems I had made.
Your Honor, the defense does not deny that this is a serious or a sensitive case. However, the court must also consider freedom of speech. Article 10 of the Federal Constitution of Malaysia recognizes that the right to freedom of speech and expression. Media personalities often discuss controversial issues. People may express opinions that are unpopular, wrong, or offensive. The court should carefully distinguish between an opinion and a defamatory statement. My client says that he believed the information available to him at the time. He did not personally order anyone to threaten or attack the families. So, we therefore ask the court to really consider the context of the statements, the defendant's right to express his views, and his later apology. Your Honor, may I ask the plaintiff some questions?
Yes, please proceed.
Did Mr. Jones personally send threats to you or your family?
No, but his false claims encourage people to believe that we are lying.
Can you prove that every person who harassed the families acted directly because of Mr. Jones?
Not every person. However, his repeated claims reach a large audience and help spread the false story about our families.
Mr. Jones, you said you were only expressing your views. Did you verify these claims with reliable sources before publishing them?
No, not fully. I relied on information that I received from other resources.
Did you have clear evidence that the shooting was fake?
No, I did not have clear evidence.
But you still repeated this claim to your audience.
Yes, I did that at that time.
And you later admitted that the shooting was real.
Yes.
No further questions.
I have several questions for both sides. Prosecutor, why should freedom of speech not protect the defendant in this case?
Your Honor, freedom of speech is important, but Article 10 does not make this right absolute. Malaysian law allows restrictions, including laws relating to defamation.
Defense counsel, where should the court draw the line between freedom of expression and protection of reputation?
Your Honor, the court should consider the words used, the context, whether the statement was presented as fact or opinion, and whether the speaker had a reasonable basis for the statement.
Mr. Jones, as a person with a large media audience, do you believe you had a greater responsibility to check the truth before making such serious claims?
Yes, Your Honor. Looking back, I should have checked the information more carefully.
I will now hear the final argument. Prosecutor, you may begin.
Your Honor, this case is not simply about an unpopular option. The defendant made serious claims about real people and presented those claims to a large audience without reliable evidence. Freedom of speech carries responsibility. The Defamation Act 1957 protects people from statements that unfairly damage their reputation. We therefore ask the court to rule in favor of the plaintiff.
Your Honor, we recognize the pain suffered by the families. However, freedom of expression remains an important principle. We ask the court to carefully consider the context of the statements and the defendant's later correction and apology.
After hearing both sides, this court has considered that the facts of the case together with the relevant principles of Malaysian media law. The court recognized that Article 10 of the Federal Constitution protects freedom of speech and expression. This is an important right, however, this right is not absolute. In this case, the statements considered identifiable victims' families were communicated to a large audience and were capable of seriously damaging their reputation. The defendant also admitted that he did not have clear evidence for his claims and did not fully verify the information before publishing it. Therefore, applying the relevant Malaysian legal principles, this court finds that the defendant's statement amounted to defamation. The court rules is in favor of the plaintiff. This case also sends an important message to the media industry. Freedom of expression is important, but media professionals and public figures must use that freedom responsibly. Information should be checked before it is published, especially when it can seriously harm other people. The court is adjourned. Thank you. This case reminds us that freedom of speech comes with responsibility. Media professionals must verify information before publishing because false information can cause real harm.
So after hearing both sides, we can see that this case is not only about Alex Jones and the Sandy Hook families, and it also shows an important issue in today's media industry. So freedom of speech is important, but it also comes with a responsibility, and media professionals and public figures can reach a very large audience, especially through social media and online platforms. And by applying Malaysian media law to this American case, we can see the importance of balancing freedom of expression with the protection of reputation. And Article 10 of the Federal Constitution recognizes freedom of speech, while Malaysian defamation law also protects people from statements that can seriously damage their reputation. So from an ethical point of view, media professionals should always check their information carefully before publishing it. And having a large audience also means having a greater responsibility. So this case reminds us that the words published through the media can have real consequences. And freedom of speech should not mean freedom from responsibility. So thank you for watching our moot court presentation. Thank you.